Leaders of the G7 nations are expected to announce long-term security commitments to Ukraine today, and forecasters are warning of dangerous heat from California to Florida. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. On the sidelines of the NATO summit in Lithuania today, President Biden is joining fellow leaders of the G7. NPR's Asma Khalid reports they'll announce long-term commitments to support Ukraine.
Biden plans to make an announcement alongside Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to bolster Ukraine's security. Amanda Sloat is the Biden administration's senior director for Europe.
The United States, along with G7 leaders, will announce our intent to help Ukraine build a military that can defend itself and deter a future attack.
The White House says the declaration being announced today signals a commitment to building a joint long-term defensive force for Ukraine to ensure stability that will send a message to Russia. This commitment also comes despite no concrete timetable for Ukraine to join NATO. Asma Khalid, NPR News, Vilnius, Lithuania.
People in Vermont are cleaning up after catastrophic flooding this week. It's not raining anymore, but rivers are still above flood stage, and several Vermont dams have been pushed to their limits. Water has receded in Vermont's capital, Montpelier, but mud fills areas of downtown where significant flooding had cut off parts of the city. Southern and western states are facing dangerous heat. Forecasters have posted excessive heat watches, advisories, and warnings from California to the Central Plains. It's even excessively hot in Florida. Kristen Sicoccio grew up in Pompano Beach.
I feel hotter this year compared to any of the other years. I don't remember it being this hot when I was a kid.
Heat indexes could soar above 110 degrees today in parts of Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Top intelligence and defense officials conducted what's believed to be the first ever classified briefing on artificial intelligence for senators on Capitol Hill. NPR's Deirdre Walsh reports.
Artificial intelligence is in its early stages, but senators stressed after the briefing that Congress should encourage positive impacts from AI like curing diseases, but be mindful of risks. Florida Senator Marco Rubio, the top Republican on the Intelligence Committee, says the U.S. can set standards for AI, but adversaries aren't likely to have any constraints.
Technological advances are impossible to put back in the genie back in the bottle. It's transnational. So even if we passed all the laws in the world in the United States, and we can regulate how our government uses it, you can't put genies like this back in bottles.
Lawmakers say it's too early to say what kind of legislation is needed, but Congress needs to consider AI's impact on jobs and national security. Deirdre Walsh, NPR News, the Capitol.
The Iowa State Legislature has passed a bill outlawing nearly all abortions in the state. The lawmakers were called into special session yesterday by Iowa Republican Governor Kim Reynolds. They took one day to debate and pass the ban. Governor Reynolds says she plans to sign the bill by Friday. It would take effect immediately. This is NPR.